All right, we're recording to the cloud. It's 12:02. Boy, I thought more than you two said you would be on, but a ton of people said that they would watch the
They
recording,
lied.
Josh. Okay. Huh?
They lied. Give them the angry face. Give them the.
It lasted 2 seconds. But at least for you two and those that are watching the recording, I'm going to let Josh take over. But I very matter-of-factly want to tell you guys that without he's going to blush, but he is the best in the business. And I wouldn't bring him to you guys if I didn't believe that. I don't know more top coaches that he works with, more top coaches that sing his praises. And I don't know anybody that puts more work into understanding what it is that we do, the obstacles that we have, the challenges that we face, and works to help us combat those more than this man does. And I've gotten such crazy positive feedback. I actually, Josh, I don't know if you know this, I have a coach in your push. Her name is Rachel Muskoff, and she was already diamond. So she wasn't one of the people that I got to bring into this group, that you allowed me to bring into this group. And so she always is messaging me, you know, not knowing that I was able to give you guys the gift of being in this group. And she is just on cloud nine with everything that she's learning and where the direction of her business is going. And this might sound harsh, and I hope it doesn't, because I've got both you, Kim and Sabrina. I know you're invested in this, but for those of you that maybe just didn't feel like this call was important because you didn't put skin in the game, if you put skin in the game into these kind of trainings that Josh does, and you know that there's an investment there, and you put in the work that's asked of you, like Rachel is doing, it's mind-blowing. Number one, how grateful they are. Number two, how excited they are. And number three, how effective it is. And so I'm going to shut up, but I want to thank you, Josh, for talking with these girls, because they're my everything right now, and I want them to succeed so bad, and you know that. So I appreciate you taking 30 minutes, 2 hours, whatever it takes to kick him in the butt a little.
Well, you're more than welcome. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. Melissa always has the sweetest introductions in the world, and I appreciate it. I do. I really, 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 really appreciate it so much, because like Melissa, we work our asses off all day and night to encourage, inspire, empower people. And I don't know if anyone understands how much of that we do for free. We do obviously get paid very well for what we do, because we've done it for long enough and hard enough. But we also do a lot of stuff for free because we just straight up believe in people. We really, really do. And that's why it's always, anytime Melissa needs anything in the world, I'm there, because I know she believes in people just as much as me. If there's anyone in the world that believes in people more than I do, her name is Melissa McAllister, and she has a town named after her, and that's why. So I'm more than happy to be here. And so I want to talk to you about something that I believe is one of the most powerful lessons I've learned in my entire life. And maybe you've heard me talk about this before. If you have, I apologize. I love it. I'm going to talk about it a whole lot more, a million more times, because every single time you hear it, you're going to realize that there's something else in your business you need to apply it to. Because one of the greatest lessons that I have learned about this lesson is that this lesson never stops. At every single level of your business, we are faced with learning this lesson over and over and over again. And when you find yourself thinking, like I did for a short season last year, that you no longer need this lesson, it will kick your ass so hard and wake you up and humble you and remind you that you never get to stop learning this lesson. And that lesson is the law of the lid. The law of the lid is from John Maxwell's book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. It simply says this, and this is the King Josh version, not the King John Maxwell version. This is, in my own words, the way I remember reading it. You will never be more successful than your ability to lead people. Now, I talk about this, and I'm working on a new book right now that's called Fuck Leadership. And the whole point of the book is that in network marketing, for whatever reason, and I'm going to talk about this a lot on the Virtual Leadership Summit tonight, for whatever reason, we've taken this word leader and we've put it on such a high pedestal, we think we are incapable of succeeding unless we have these features. And these features that a leader has really have absolutely nothing to do with leadership, and usually have more to do with charisma, popularity, celebrity. None of it really has anything to do with being a leader. In fact, I was at a retreat with Micah just a week and a half ago, and this girl says, I don't know why people would sign up with me because I'm not a good leader. I said, I get it. So let's talk about what a leader is. I want to hear your definition of a leader. She said, well, it's someone that leads the way. It's someone that cares about people. It's someone who wants to make a difference. So tell me how you're not a leader based on that. See, when I got down to the issues of her heart, one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible says that out of the overflow of our heart, man speaks. And that's kind of a life coaching principle, is if I can just get you to talk long enough, I can eventually hear what's in your heart, not what's in your head. First thing you say is always out of your head. Second thing is usually from your heart. See, in her head, she's got a picture of what a leader is. And that leader happens to be, I don't know, probably has a height, probably has, a specific figure, probably has a specific following. There are all of these outward things that really have nothing to do with leadership. It really more has to do with attraction marketing. Not that you shouldn't work on that too, but that's not really leadership. Would you agree? And when we really got down to it, she's just as much of a leader as anyone else. She just hasn't necessarily had a lot of people follow yet. But wouldn't you all agree that the only way to become a leader is to start off at the point where no one's following you yet? No one gets to start off with everyone already following, correct? I promise you. And I've heard the story that Melissa shared on the National Wake Up Call a couple years ago. When she signed up, she was handing out business cards in the workout DVDs at Walmart. I love that story so much, because everyone wants to think, well, Melissa McAllister, she's been top 10, 7,000 years in a row now. She's done all of these things. But what you never, ever get to see is people at their starting point. And we're always comparing our current starting point to someone else's finishing point. And the thing that I need you to understand, now John Maxwell was teaching the law of the lid as a leadership lesson, okay? And that's great, it is. But here's what I saw it as. I saw it as a universal principle. I think that John Maxwell was literally writing out a universal principle, but of course, because leadership is the number one thing he studies, he put it into terms of leadership, okay? But it's really a universal law. And that universal law is you will never be better or never have more success, never be healthier, never be happier, whatever it is you want to insert there. And that's why it's a universal law, because you can put any word you want in there. You will never be as blank as your ability. Now, of course, John Maxwell added on the word to lead yourself. Sorry about that. I don't know why I have my phone call on my computer. That's awkward. He added the word leader because he's talking about leadership specifically. But I want you to, for a second, remove the words leader. And I want you to think about selling. I want you to think about recruiting. I want you to think about expanding your network. I want you to think about attraction marketing. I want you to think about whatever the gap is in your business. And maybe there's 3 or 4 gaps. Whatever the gap is in your business, getting diamond, whatever that is, plug it in. And you will never be as diamond as your ability to do it. Now that sounds like, okay, my ability. Here's the thing. You are the only one in control of what ability you have, because you are the one investing into that ability with your time, your energy, your effort. That's kind of like saying, and I'm sure you guys have heard this a million times, I could never work out every single day because I have 3 kids. And we got like 1,000 people in our group that also have 3 kids. Give me another one. Okay, I could never work out every single day because I'm overweight. Cool. We got 1,000 people in our group that are overweight. Bring me another one. And you could just listen to excuses all day and night for why people can't work out. And every single time you would call BS. Correct? And then we get over into our business and we try to bring those same BS excuses. Well, I could never go diamond because I don't have large enough of a following. Awesome. I've helped people go top 10 who had like 3,000 followers on Instagram. Give me another one. Well, I could never become successful because I'm not outgoing enough. Awesome. 90% of the most successful coaches in the company that I have mentored are introverts. Give me another one. Well, I could never be successful because I still have weight to lose. Awesome. My homegirl, Ashley McClellan, that's been working with me this year, just went from 1-star to 5-star from the beginning of the year to now. As of today, she is elite for the year. She still has 40 or 50 pounds to lose. Give me another one. And you could give me excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse, and I could show you person after person after person after person that said, maybe I do have this disadvantage, but I'm making the choice to work on that ability and improve it and become the person I want to become. In other words, John Maxwell calls it the law of the lid. In my book, I'm calling it the law of ownership. And the law of ownership says, regardless of how successful I am or how successful I'm not, it's because of me and only me. That's it. When I joined the John Maxwell team, I had every excuse in the world. I come from a long line of preachers. We've never done business before. We're not really allowed to do business. We're not really supposed to drive nice cars and make lots of money. People look at us weird if we do. I've literally never had extra money in my life growing up as a kid. If we had any extra money at all, we went and spent it the second we had it because we pretty much never had it. And so I grew up with a very, very, very poverty and lack mentality. I grew up in a world where no one that I knew had money, except for, well, all of my friends, because I played sports, all of my friends. I was always the kid who didn't have money. So I had all this going against me. Joined the John Maxwell team, and everyone on the John Maxwell team has gray hair, suits and ties, and 40 years of business experience. I'm like, oh, shit. They're calling up their buddies who they've known for the last 30 years saying, oh, by the way, now I'm doing business consulting. Could I maybe come to your office and speak with your managers? Oh, sure. Come on over. What am I doing? Calling up the 19-year-old kids that showed up at the rock concerts I was playing for. Hey, can you gather up all of your other 19-year-old emo friends? I know I don't have a band anymore, but I'd really like to come to you about personal growth. I didn't have anything. I mean, I was starting from scratch, and I thought it was my biggest disadvantage. But what I realized in year 2, as I just kept, every single time I did something and it failed, I just kept saying, law of the lid, it's your fault, not anyone else's. See, the second you blame it on someone else, you miss out on the opportunity to learn the most valuable lesson you could have possibly learned that day. I didn't learn anything from the things I did right yesterday. I only learned lessons from the thing I did wrong. The things I did right, I journaled about it and I was super excited about it. But I also had to journal about the things that I did wrong, or I'm going to repeat those things. I have to constantly take ownership for everything that goes wrong in my business. And 4 years ago, when I made a wrong decision, it would cost me $100. Now, when I make a wrong decision, it costs me $10,000 or $20,000. If you don't learn the lessons, they will screw you down the road, but you have to make a decision that it's all on you. You want to go diamond? Cool. Maybe you suck at attraction marketing. Okay, awesome. So stop sucking. Go get better. Go sign up for a training that works on attraction marketing. Go follow people that are good at it and start learning from the things they're doing. I knew nothing about social media until I started working with Beachbody coaches. And honestly, I was following all of my clients. And I was learning from the way they were posting and sharing their story and their vulnerability. And to this day, I still learn from some of my clients because I'm constantly trying to learn from people that are better at things than me. I suck at attraction marketing. I really do. Like, if you go back to my posts from like 3 years ago, it was god awful. Like, I'm so glad that the iPhone X has so much better of a camera than what I was building my business with on the iPhone 4S. Do you remember selfies on the iPhone 4S? It's just like, oh my God, you can't even, who is that? Like, facial recognition can't even pick up who it is. So I've worked on it. I'm still not that good at it, but in my opinion, I'm 10 times better than I was 3 years ago. But I've also learned to embrace the things that I am good at. And I've learned to focus in on my strengths and not let myself ever think, well, I can't be as successful as that person because I'm not as naturally gifted in that one area. I have a good buddy of mine, and he's way better looking than me. He's got big old tattoos on his huge freaking arms, and the dude is just the best looking dude you have ever seen. We literally walk into restaurants together, and literally, I kid you not, the hostess goes huge eyeballs and goes, "Your arms are so huge." Like, what an awkward thing to say to someone, right? Can you imagine saying that to someone at first meeting? That's how gorgeous this guy is. And on Instagram, he kills it. I'm talking like every single post, he's just absolutely killing it. And sometimes I let that get in my head. And then I'm like, you know what? He's really good at attraction marketing, but I kick his ass at motivational speaking. That's what I do. That's my thing. And I got to learn. It's not my job to be better than other people. And that's the biggest problem with network marketing, is that we spend too much time focused on everyone else in the company. And instead of learning from them, we start counting those things against ourselves. What you should be doing is looking for evidence that it works, not looking for evidence of why it can't work for you. And that's what most of you do. I know, because I've heard the words Kate Morgan 75 times in the last month. Yeah, but there's this one girl in the company and she went 5-star in like her first 6 months. Awesome. Good for her. That's 1 out of 400,000 people. Tell me how that one person, tell me that one person negates you from success. Tell me how, tell me what in the world that has to do with your journey. I also know some people that in the first 30 days lost 20 pounds and got down to their goal weight and had 6-pack abs like that. Awesome. 99% of people did not. Are you putting that on all of your challengers? Now, here's the thing. If you don't lose 20 pounds in your very first month and get 6-pack abs, they're just probably never going to happen for you. Would you ever be so stupid to tell a challenger that? Absolutely not. Isn't it hilarious how when it comes to health and fitness, we will preach all day and night. Anyone can do it. No matter what your schedule is, no matter what your disability may be. I mean, we'll post pictures of people without legs that are in the gym, like working out, doing curls, and we're like, see, anybody can do it. And then we come over to the business side and we become those stupid idiots, making those excuses, trying to convince ourselves and the world around us that we don't have a chance. And I know lots of coaches who, social media wise or business wise, were handicapped and don't have legs and still found a way to succeed. I know pretty people, I know ugly people, I know nice people, I know mean people. And if you ever question for a second, now let me just say, this is not a political statement in any way for or against anyone, okay? I don't believe in talking politics because they piss me off, but I'm just using an example. If you don't think you can succeed because you're too stupid, too ugly, too old, too young, let me just go ahead and say that one of the ugliest people in the world is currently the President of the United States of America. Whether you like him or not, I'm not for him, against him. I'm just saying one of the ugliest people who has ever lived is running our country. Now try to tell me that you have to be a nice, kind, perfect, honest, wonderful, loving, beautiful person to succeed. I made a post about this today on Instagram, talking about the law of sowing and reaping. I talked about this on the mastermind the other day. You cannot plant a fruit seed and get an apple tree. And it doesn't matter how stupid you are, how ugly you are, how inexperienced you are, that orange seed doesn't really care. You put it in the ground, you give it water, you give it sunshine, what do you get? Orange tree. I've never once seen someone plant an orange seed and get an apple tree, or let's say it grows a coal tree because the person wasn't worthy of oranges. It doesn't happen. Our business is still governed by the laws of the universe. One of those laws is the law of ownership. Wherever you're at today, it's because of you and you alone, not anyone else. But the Facebook algorithm changed. Cool, go learn it. But attraction marketing is hard. Cool, go learn it. But I don't know how to reach out to people. Awesome, figure it out. I built my entire business on social media with not one single training on social media. I just decided that I needed to figure it out, and so I did. I sent a script to Melissa that was probably god awful, but thank God she's a very kind and sweet person, so she responded and gave me a chance. I've never sent, to this day, I don't know that I've ever sent a good script. I just sent messages to enough people and put my name out there enough and worked hard enough to figure out whatever I needed to figure out to get to whatever next level I need. I just kept taking ownership. So where our businesses are governed by the law of ownership and the law of sowing and reaping. You will reap what you sow. And when I first started my business, I remembered this principle that I'd learned growing up in church. And honestly, the church that I grew up in, this principle was a little bit perverted to try to give lots of money into the offering bucket so that we could reap big, huge harvests from God. But it's still a universal law. And that universal law is you get out what you put in. Some people call it karma. It doesn't matter what you call it. The point is this: just like the fruit seed, if you decide and make the decision to plant those seeds in the ground and then water them and give them sunshine, 100 times out of 100 times they will grow. And that is also the compound effect. The compound effect and the law of sowing and reaping work hand in hand. The law of sowing and reaping says you reap what you sow. The compound effect says you reap 1,000 times beyond what you ever sowed. Because you don't plant one seed and get one orange, do you? You plant one seed and you get an entire tree full of oranges. But only if you take ownership for watering that seed and giving it the sunshine it needs. What is the water? What is the sunshine? It's your personal development. It's your affirmations. It's showing up every single day on social media. It's sending conversations and invites. I'm just going to go ahead and simplify it for you and say it's your vital behaviors. It's your vital behaviors. And whatever level you need to get to, from emerald to diamond, from diamond to 2-star, 2-star to 5-star, 5-star to 10-star, at every single level, you will have to learn this law over and over and over and over because it never stops being true. To get from one level to the next, you have to plant the seed, you have to water it, you have to give it sunshine, you have to put in the work and energy and time it takes to grow. Some of you are going to go diamond this week. This week. And then I'm going to have to kick your ass to get you to go 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star. Because you're going to try to pretend that at diamond you've now arrived and no longer have to do the work, that your team will just come along. And that's not going to happen. You're going to have to learn, even at diamond, you still got to work like you're an emerald trying to get to diamond if you want to get from diamond to 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star. You just also get to help your team. but you have to take ownership. So your assignment from me is I want to hear exactly what you're not taking ownership for in your business. I want to know. And Sabrina and Kim, because you're on, I'm going to come chat with both of you and I want to hear about it. If you are watching this recording, your assignment is to message to Melissa and then she's going to send them to me. What you are not taking ownership for in your business. And maybe it's recruiting. Maybe it's something as simple as being more vulnerable on social media. Maybe it's just straight up going diamond. Maybe you're not taking ownership for getting your butt there and you're starting to say things like, here's my favorite one. Well, I'm not in control because I have to get a couple people to enroll. When have you ever been in control of anything? You've never been in control. At every single level, I always hear people try to say, well, I'm not in control anymore, so this goal is harder. You were never in control. You weren't in control of getting anyone to buy a challenge pack, were you? Did you put a gun to someone's head and tell them to buy a challenge pack? No. Every single goal you will ever accomplish, it includes other people. Okay? You were never in control. The difference is at the lower levels, like hitting Emerald, you made the decision to take ownership even though you didn't have control. And that's the trick you'll have to do over and over and over. I am not in control of how many people sign up for the Virtual Leadership Summit tonight, but I took ownership of putting out enough word, putting out enough ads, sending enough messages, making enough noise to get the amount of people there that I wanted to be there to get the kind of payday that I wanted to have. I'm never in control, but I'm always taking ownership. All right? So, Sabrina, you're up first. I want to hear what you need to take ownership over. Yeah. I love that. I love that sound. That's the same sound I was making with Joel for like 35 minutes earlier. I'm pretty sure Jenny thought I was having sex with a guy named Joel earlier. Joel, stop it, Joel. Sorry, that might have been a little TMI. I apologize.
It's a similar place that I found myself too. I don't know the answer to that question. Because
you have what?
I said I don't know the answer to that question. I asked you that question on the Q&A call yesterday about how do you, like when everyone's saying if you're not getting results, you're not working hard enough. You just got to do the work. If you're not getting results, you're obviously not doing the work. And I'm like, but I'm doing the freaking work. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is that I'm doing wrong. I think that's my problem.
So here's the thing. There's not always something we're doing wrong, though, and that's what I want you to get out of your head. Not that I'm doing something wrong, because now I'm focused on negative energy, and now I'm trying to fix everything. When, to be honest, 90% of what you're doing is probably right. So don't ask, what am I doing wrong? Ask, what do I need to improve? See the big difference there? If I'm asking, what am I doing wrong? I'm literally walking around all day with negative energy about my posts because I think maybe that's the thing I'm doing wrong. Well, this post is probably going to suck if that's the way I go into it. I'm going into my conversations and my invites thinking, what am I doing wrong? And then we start overthinking and actually doing it wrong. So instead, ask yourself, number one, what could I improve? Number two, is there some type of a gap or hole in my business that I feel my energy being pulled toward? 2 years in, I felt my energy being pulled toward Facebook ads. Shalene happened to mention it on stage at an event that I was at, and I was like, that's my thing. I need to go. Do you have something specifically that you're like, you know what? I really feel like this is a skill I need to learn on. I need to work. I need to develop.
I think for me, it's the recruiting piece. It's how I present it. Maybe that's the issue. Like I started running sneak peeks every week, and it was a decision that I was like, well, I suck at recruiting, so I'm just going to make myself do it over and over and over again and present it so that I can practice the fear out of it and just get better at it.
Yeah.
So I do it weekly, and I have like an ongoing group. So there's 22 people in it right now, and I'm adding people weekly to it. And then people have the option to drop off if they don't want to hear anymore, or they can stay if they want to continue to hear more. But I haven't recruited anybody in the past month. And so I'm kind of like, what do I need to improve in that arena? And I just
so explain the group to me again. You have 22 people in there.
Yeah. So it's I do
an ongoing thing, or is it like we're gonna have a big event and I'm gonna talk you into signing up tonight and I've got some awesome urgency?
Yeah. So I don't have that.
Okay, that's what you're missing. You are gonna learn so much on my virtual leadership summit tonight. I'm probably gonna get you to spend $1,200 tonight, so just be ready. I'm just gonna straight up tell you, you're probably gonna spend $1,200 tonight, because you're gonna get on a call and I am going to add so much value to you that you're gonna be like, oh my God, my mind is blown. And then I'm gonna be like, but here's the thing. It's one thing to learn it. It's another thing to put it into action. And if you're going to put it into action, you know what you're going to need? You're going to need a coach. You're going to need accountability. You're going to need a system. You're going to need a process. How many different times have you learned something new and not put it into action? I'm going to help you do that. I've got a group. It starts Monday. Sign up tonight. It's $1,200. When you sign up, you're also going to get a bonus, all of my Art of Leading modules for free. I'm giving away my presentation tonight, FYI. You're also going to get a bonus spot, a VIP experience at my Building Your Legacy conference here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You're going to get a bonus workshop with Melanie Mitro the night before the event up in my hotel suite. It's going to be awesome. We're going to do this thing for the rest of the year together. You've got me on your side. I'm going to help you go elite, or whatever huge goal that you have to push for with your team. If you're ready to sign up, get it done now. The first 5 people are also going to get, I haven't even made up that part yet. I'll make that up later. See how, I mean, you probably see how I like, it's got to come together to something. Otherwise, we're giving a bunch of people just free access to like a free group that doesn't really even have much of a purpose other than, hey, come hang out with me and listen to me talk about my coaching journey.
I get
Does that
that.
make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's just, I think my issue is my audience, because of, like, hearing you describe all of that, like, I'm like, Josh, take my credit card right now. Like, I'm not even going to wait till tonight. Yep. But then you've got an audience that is, we're all wanting that. We're all wanting to elevate and do all of that, right?
That's right.
I feel as if I'm still trying to preach to cookers and, you know, crack dealers.
Yes.
For want of a better word, you know.
Do you want to hear the greatest compliment I ever received as a musician? Someone said to me one time, and which will tell you how far my music career went based on this quote. They said, Josh, even when you're only playing for 30 or 40 people, you perform like you're playing for thousands. Now, it tells you how far my music career went, because I was only playing for 30 or 40 people. But the point is, my whole career, I have had this motto of I don't care who is out here. I don't care how many people it is. I mean, we just did basically a team call for 3 people. Did you feel any less energy than what I did on the Push Mastermind the other day for like 100 people? No, because I freaking show up with the kind of energy that I want to portray to people. And I don't care if there's 1 of you, 4 of you, 4,000 of you, I'm going to set the tone with my energy, which is going to cause you to respond. And no one on that sneak peek call has any idea what you know about the fact that you haven't recruited anybody yet this month, about the fact that you're not making very much money, about the fact that you feel a little insecure because you don't feel like you're successful and you're trying to sell this thing to help people succeed. Nobody else knows that. And nobody needs to know that. You know what they need to know? I built my entire business not because I had testimonials yet, but because I had my own testimonial. Had my own transformation, not of money. Purpose, fulfillment, passion, all of the things that I wanted in life. Money was never one of those things. Now, it has been a result of the things that I've done really well. But to be honest, when I found the John Maxwell team, personal development changed my life. That's all I needed to show up with and inspire other people that this opportunity would be good for them. I didn't promise anybody when they signed on with me that I'd help them make more money. I promised that I'd help them be more focused. I'd help them be more intentional. I'd help them be more passionate. And those are the things that I delivered until I could promise the whole rank advance and money thing. So you got to really grab onto what this business has done for you. I'm assuming you wouldn't be here on this call today and in my mastermind showing up on calls and Q&A sessions unless it's done something for you that's powerful, that's changed your life, correct?
Yeah.
You got to get really clear about that, and you got to show up on every freaking call with that passion and that energy. You got to show up on every post with that passion and energy until one day you do have people lined up ready to get whatever you got. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Somebody, I promise you, somebody wants to give you their credit card. Somebody. Maybe not 100 people, but that's okay. If somebody wants to give it to you, you give them every reason in the world to do it. And then you give them urgency to do it. P.S. The first 5 people, who cares if only one person signs up? You make it sound like you know a bunch of people. The first 5 people that sign up, I'm going to throw in a free team tank top. Say, I don't have a team tank top. Whatever. Go down to the store and print some up. order some off of, like, I don't know, some random website or something. Throw in a free Televinergize. Throw in something that makes it feel like you put your special touch on it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But confidence is everything. Okay? And I want you to grab onto that. Even if you don't believe in yourself yet. Okay? I want you to show up for that call with the amount of belief that you have in Melissa, with the amount of belief that you have in Beachbody, because let's be real, when they sign up with you, they get access to both, correct?
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you know what you're doing or not, honestly. As long as Melissa knows what she's doing, you're solid. I feel pretty comfortable that she knows what she's doing, don't you?
Yeah.
So I think you'll be good. Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Remember that quote. Okay. Even if I'm only performing for 30 or 40, I'm going to perform like I'm performing for 1,000. Okay. You can do this, girl.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, Kim. Your turn.
What's the question?
What are you not taking ownership for in your business?
Oh my goodness. All right. So trying to take through some of my notes. I definitely don't think I have the energy because I'm more of a recluse. So I like to just kind of lay back and chill.
Uh-huh.
I try to put out there the affirmations that I kind of go through that speak to me, since I'm in the push group. Mm-hmm. I have not done any sneak peeks. I invite other people to sneak peeks when I go into them, whether it's Melissa or somebody else that I've joined up with. And then due to my primary business and this side gig, I don't do lives. And if I do lives, it's in my own challenge groups. So I've got intermittent fasting free group that I finally have grown to like 150 members.
Okay.
But I think the other thing that I'm struggling with would be in my challenge groups, no one really participates. We joined forces, I think 2 or 3 coaches a couple months ago, and it seemed to fall flat. Mm-hmm. Then this month's challenge group, we spotlighted Dr. Lauren and really tried to get a lot in there. And we've got like 38 in there. And once again, no one really wants to participate. So I'm trying to figure out how to encourage, especially in my generation, so the older generation who are not used to the selfies and putting some of their transparency struggles out there, is I'm struggling with how to get them to participate and be involved with others in the group to build that community.
Well, okay, a couple things. Number one, anytime I'm struggling to figure things out, I always take a survey.
Okay.
Love surveys because I learned so much. One time I went and did a workshop somewhere when I was first starting out, and I went to a church and did this leadership workshop, and I was thankfully smart enough to follow my mentor's advice, and I had them all fill out a survey before I was done. And I asked them 2 specific things that I want you to ask your people. Number one, what was your favorite part about this workshop? Actually, 3 questions. Number 2, what was your least favorite? And number 3, if there's something else we could have done, what would you have wanted it to be? What's funny is I had kind of like this little interaction game that we played. Did some like role playing, and I almost didn't put it in the workshop because I thought it was the cheesiest thing in the world, and I usually hate anything that's like cheesy. But at the end of the survey, 90% of the people said that was their favorite part, and when asked what else they would like to do, they said more of that. In other words, Josh, shut up and let us talk is basically what. And so I learned such a valuable lesson that day that the thing that I think is cheesy sometimes is the thing that everyone else enjoys. And so surveys, I took a survey in the Push Mastermind this last month to find out. I wanted to make sure we were doing it the right way. We had 230 people in there the first month. I knew that having an open forum style was kind of annoying me a little bit with that many people talking, but I didn't know whatever I needed to get everyone else's opinion. They're the one paying for the group. I need to find out what they value. Turns out this time I was right. A lot of people said the open forum was annoying, but there's also a lot of people, honestly, that said that I spoke too long. They said the Monday calls were like going almost 2 hours long. No one could possibly fit that into their schedule, even trying to listen to recordings. So I tried really, really, really hard. I think I've got the last couple of calls down to like 1 hour and 15 minutes. Doing it any faster than that is like crazy if you're going to have Q&A time built into the call. But it stretched me to go, oh, it's cool. Everyone wants to hang out and spend time with me. And I've got all the time in the world to go and, okay, people are on schedules. I need to respect that. I need to be as concise as possible and really prepare and keep this simple. So you need to find out the same thing in your group.
Okay.
What are some of the favorite things we've done in this group? And you might find that there's like one specific thing that you guys do once a week that people actually would love to be doing every day. Maybe not. I'm not saying that you'll always get the answers that you need, but it's a great place to start when you don't know why people aren't engaging. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The other thing that I want you to do is, you said that you're a low energy person.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to make sure that you're teaming up with some high energy people. Please do not run a challenge group with 4 low energy people. And that seems to be what happens is we tend to team up with people like us.
Right. Attract.
It's the worst possible thing in the world. Worst. You know what the worst thing I can do is team up with people who have my kind of energy, because I'm with the high energy that I am. I'm also a very unorganized and scatterbrained person. And so I have to surround myself with a couple assistants who always think about details, because I never do.
Right.
I'm like, this is going to be the coolest shit you've ever done, and you should pay for it and show up and have a blast. And people are like, you didn't tell us what date it was. I'm like, damn it. So I have to do the opposite. I have to surround myself with some people that maybe are a little bit more low key, but they're better at structure and organization than I am. Okay. So you don't want to run a challenge group with 4 low energy people, because you want your challenge group to be fun and exciting, and you want people to think about it when they wake up in the morning. You don't want them to avoid it and ignore it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that doesn't mean that you have to become a high energy person. No one does. But I will say this. You are going to have to work on becoming a more energy person.
Okay.
You don't need to be high energy, okay? But you do need to be more energy. The same way I have to work on my organizational skills. Now, I'm never going to be as organized as someone who is naturally wired for that, okay? But if I don't get some organized, I'm going to screw up in business like way too much, correct? Mm-hmm. So it's same for you. You are probably a way more naturally organized person than I am. Low energy people usually are. If not, you got some type of a strength that I don't, whatever it is. My point is that whatever your weaknesses are, if it's something that's needed to grow the business, it's something you're going to have to develop some of, even if it never becomes your primary focus. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because we are in the business of, whether we like it or not, attraction marketing is part of our business.
So can you give me, everyone seems to have their own version of what attraction marketing is.
Okay.
My primary business is in marketing. I'm the art director. I'm a very, very creative, artistic
awesome.
Baz.
I love
but
it.
Getting into this, I can't get out of my own way. So attraction marketing to me is, and then I think y'all use the spreadsheet that's breadcrumbs.
Yeah, breadcrumb posts. Yeah.
So can you give me some insight on the description of what really classifies that?
The breadcrumb posts or the attraction marketing, or both? Let me tell you both.
Both.
So you come from marketing, okay? You're good with graphic stuff like that. I love that, love that, love that. I actually went to college for a little bit for graphic design, was like really into that when I was younger. Never became super good, but I still have a good eye for it, and I appreciate stuff like that. Here's the difference in what you're doing in this business and what you do in that business, okay? In that business, it's more about color schemes and branding and stuff like that, okay? When you come into this business, you still need that. But you have to add this weird element, okay, that no one likes to hear, but someone needs to just say it already. Whether we like it or not, we are fitness models. We are business building models. Let's be real. We take pictures of ourselves on a daily basis and post them on the internet. We're models, whether we like it or not. Now, you got here's where I want you to use your marketing background to not stereotype what kind of a model that means you have to be. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because your niche market is going to be different than Melissa's.
Yeah.
Melissa's niche market, I mean, she comes from the fitness background, correct? Nice. She works with a lot of fitness instructors and trainers and stuff like that. That doesn't need to be the kind of model that you need to be, okay? But I want you to imagine, maybe this will make it easier. I want you to imagine you are launching a TV show, okay? Now, for that TV show, I want you to think about the audience that's going to be watching that TV show. Wouldn't you agree that the main character in that show, even if it is a demographic for maybe people that are maybe like 35 and up, as opposed to trying to reach like, you know, some like teenagers or something like that, even though it's a different kind of person, the main character still needs to be the person that people watch and fall in love with. Does that make sense?
I think so.
So I need you to pretend that you're doing a reality show, okay? Mm-hmm. And you're the star of the show. Mm. Here's the thing. You, in a sense, get to decide what it is you want to sell with your reality show. I forget what it's called. Is it Fixer Upper? Is that what it's called? The couple from Waco, Texas?
Yeah.
They have decided. Now, here's the thing. They fix up houses, but that is not what they sell. If you watch the show, they sell family, they sell faith, they sell conservative values. When you watch that show, those are the people that connect to it, and as a result, we kind of fall in love with their home experience, right? I mean, I'm not no interior decorator, and I'm not no, construction dude, but that's what they're trying to get you to fall in love with this faith. We're family, we're conservative people, we love each other, we live on the farm, we got the simple life, and we just happen to build these awesome houses.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the whole like avatar kind of thing comes in. You got to decide, what is it that I'm selling in addition to health and fitness? Now, health and fitness, or the business opportunity, whichever one you're talking about, and they both kind of can go together, is like the house that you're repairing for everyone to see this awesome product that they want to get in on. Okay. But you're not necessarily just selling that, you're selling yourself. And you got to decide, what are these values that you're trying to sell? What are these characteristic traits that you're trying to sell? You know, does that make sense?
Yes.
So for me, I come from a musician background. So I kind of try to throw this kind of like artistic approach. If you look at my Instagram, well, this fake brick wall that I have behind me in my office, because I like things that, you know, all of my clients have like motivational quotes and stuff up here and candles in the background. It's like, that's too girly for me. I need to do something a little more creative and masculine, right? If you go follow my Instagram, you'll see me posing in front of like brick walls downtown. What I try to do when I'm branding for the sake of my business is I kind of try to pretend that I'm still trying to be a rock star in the music industry. I'm just bringing a different message. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you got to ask yourself, what am I trying to portray and bring? Okay. But then I bring in the message, whether that be the fact that you need to fix your house, or the fact that you need to like take control of your health, the fact that you need to take control of your finances and have financial freedom, whatever that is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then the breadcrumb post is kind of where you're getting a chance to tell that story. You are telling people with your breadcrumb post, you're telling them how much you love what you do as a coach. And the reason we call it a breadcrumb post is it's kind of taken from a Gary Vee book called Jab, Jab, Hook. And the whole point of the book is it's talking about social media and how you don't want in every single post to be like, you should be drinking Shakeology. It's the best thing in the world. You should be a fitness coach. You can make more money. What you instead want to do is kind of do what we think about with marketing and advertising, is think about Budweiser. They're not like, Budweiser beer is on sale. Get a 6-pack for $3.99. They're like, no, I'm like freaking riding a horse and I'm like rounding up the cattle, drinking Bud Light, of course. What are they trying to do? They're trying to portray this lifestyle of freedom and courage and strength. And if you want to have courage and strength and freedom, you drink Bud Light. You're in a sense trying to do the same thing for the coaching opportunity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, if I can get out of my own way.
Now, here's the thing. It's a lot to try to process at once.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want you to try to process it at once. Okay? What I want you to do is just show up every single day and figure it out as you go and put together pieces as you can. You're not going to have all the pieces. Okay? I love avatar training. There's some good stuff. If you go into the Push Life community, there's a great Instagram training from Crystal Career. It's technically called Instagram training, but it's really attraction marketing training. She just happens to be talking about it from an Instagram perspective. Same thing works on Facebook. She talks about branding, finding your colors, finding your energy, stuff like that. But just know that that is kind of like an ongoing process. Does that make sense?
Yep.
When I first, if you look at my social media from 3 years ago, it looks nothing like what it does today, because I've grown, I've evolved, I've learned, I've become more confident. Okay. So the thing that I need you to understand is just start where you are.
Yep.
And remember that confidence is our greatest tool. I've seen people grow businesses with no avatar at all because they had enough confidence in what they had to offer. Now, I don't recommend it. I think you should figure out your avatar on the way. I think you should put work and energy into learning those things. But again, there's not one thing in the business that is the difference between success and failure. The only difference between success and failure is our decision to get success. Our decision. And that's where the confidence comes from. Confidence comes from, I'm going to get what I want and nobody's going to stop me. And yeah, maybe my lighting in this picture was absolutely terrible, but that's the best I knew how to do right now, so I'm just going to do it. Maybe I don't know my color scheme just yet, but this is the best that I have to work with now, so I'm going to do it. And that ties into the law of stewardship that I'll also talk about in my new book. The law of stewardship says, if you take care of the little that you have, more will be given. If you don't take care of the little you have, it'll disappear real quick like. And that comes back to the play for the 20 like you've got 1,000. If you show up for the 20 like you've got 1,000, guess what? Those 20 people are really likely to go tell 20 or 30 more people. And if you do that enough, eventually it does turn into 1,000 people. But if you don't show up for those 20 people, number one, they're never going to show up again. And if anything, they're going to go tell 20 people not to show up. Makes sense? So you got to show up in your challenge groups, even if you've got 2 people excited, you know what I want you to do? I want you to pretend you got 20 people excited. And I want you to show up for that challenge group like everyone is excited, even when they're not. I want you to get creative about different activities that you can do. I want you to get creative about how to make it more fun, make it more engaging. I want you to just, of course, keep trying to find ways to get more people, but do not let the number of people hold you back from doing what you would do if you had more people. Same goes for recruiting. I want you to talk to people about the business like you are already a 5-star elite coach. I want you to just pretend. I just want you to pretend that you are fail-proof and that if someone signs up with you, they are going to be successful. And I want you to go into it with that's the confidence that I go into with my clients. I don't know if they're going to be successful or not because I don't know if they're going to put the work in. I don't really know. But I believe enough in them. And here's where we get it wrong. You think, well, I don't know if I can help them be successful because I don't believe in me. Well, I don't really care about me. I believe in you enough that I believe when you sign up with me, you'll be successful. Not because I believe that much in myself, because I believe that much in you and your ability to show up and the potential you have living on the inside. It is not my job to make you successful. It's just my job to put you in an environment that basically allows your potential to come out and be discovered. And that's why I invite everyone on the freaking planet to come join my environment, because I want to see their potential come out. Does that make sense? Okay. I hope that I elaborated enough on all of these things that all of you watching the recording got like 20 nuggets of your own to put into action. But don't forget, send Melissa the things that you need to take ownership for. Make sure you send that off. Okay. And if you're watching this recording before 8:00 p.m. Central Time tonight, there are still some spots for the Virtual Leadership Summit. You can go to joshcoates.com, just my name.com. You can sign up for that. It's just $37. Virtual Leadership Summit. Come join me. It's going to be freaking amazing. And then, yes, you're going to spend $1,200 at the end. Okay. Sound good? Thanks for being with me, guys.
Hey,
Melissa,
thank you.
I know you got yourself muted and you're just listening in from the doctor. Thanks for having me, girl.
Thank you.
Love you guys. Have a good day.
Bye.